Are checked,
Okay.
and then I'll get that last one going. All right. All right. Everybody but our Facebook group is up. Saturday night is for the Broncos, is for the Mile High Insiders,
Hmm.
and we're good to go. All right,
Boom.
Luke, the floor is yours.
Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. It's MHI. It's Saturday night. He is Nick Kendell. I'm Luke Patterson. It's been a minute, Nick. It's been a minute since we've done a show. I was sick a couple weeks ago, and then we had the draft, and then you were just an animal. You and Eric, you kept going even after the draft was over, deep into those undrafted free agents. So
Oh,
here we
man.
are, man. Saturday night. We're back.
Yeah, man. Welcome back. It's good to be here. A little bit of normalcy. My new location for a bit. It'll probably shift a little bit, but we're upstairs in the home office. So finally kind of getting settled into this new place. And I guess we're saying things will be normal. But next week I'm going to be gone getting a break for myself, doing a backpacking trip. But I'm really happy to be in here tonight with you. The speculation of the draft is over. It feels like it was 10 years ago already. Still
Right.
kind of digesting it. So we still have plenty to talk about. And it's never a dull moment in Broncos country, man. From Aaron Rodgers to Juwan James to just everything going on. But I'm so happy that we have this community here to go through it, and I'm happy to get it everything out here with you tonight, Luke.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It does feel like the draft was 10 years ago. It feels like a lifetime since we were grinding into the midnight wee hours. You were writing, I was writing, everything over at milehighhuddle.com. And we had
Yeah.
a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun with our war room. Go check that out, guys, on Spotify, wherever,
Mm-hmm.
iTunes, wherever you guys get your Mile High Huddle content. Go peep that because it was a lot of fun. But so much has happened since the draft, Nick. I mean, we got
Yeah.
Juwan James going down. We got this Aaron Rodgers monster that continues to grow. Rumors going one way, rumors going another way. You've got Teddy Bridgewater with the Broncos now. He still has yet to be introduced. That's a little odd. You've got all kinds of stuff. And then I got a snake in my boot. Jake Plummer comes out and throws down some really heated comments, man. Some stuff that we got to get to a little bit later, but so much happens in just a week in Broncos country, even after the draft, Nick.
Yeah, man. It's like I said, never a dull moment, and I'm sure the chat will dictate a lot of that. But let's get into the read here, and then let's get into the fun stuff. So first, matters of business.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? This is Broncos country, Mile High Huddle. Mile High Insiders is what you are watching right now on your Saturday night. Every Saturday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Get at us on Twitter, folks, at MHI_football pod. And be sure to get at Mile High Huddle, at Mile High Huddle on Twitter, milehighhuddle.com. We'll get you over to the website where we are dropping all kinds of articles on the daily. And then if you want to get your swag on, folks. Nick Kendall's got a pretty cool hat. I've got a decent hat on, a decent shirt, and you can get that at huddleuppod.com. Get your swag on. Shout out to all of our followers, our friends, our family. Seen some pictures out there circulating of some lovely folks wearing our MHI swag, and we really, really appreciate it. We appreciate you guys. And he's Nick Kendall at Nick Kendall MHH. I'm Luke Patterson at Luke Patterson LP. And Nick, here we go, man. It just feels like the quarterback. And we're so deep in it, just to peek behind the curtains. Like we're trying to figure out how we want to talk about it today, how we want to deliver it today. There's all kinds of Aaron Rodgers stuff going on. And then Jake Plummer inserts himself into this Broncos drama. Has a message for Broncos country, if you will, Nick. And he was on a radio show with my good friends, Nick Ferguson and Cecil Lammy on 104.3 The Fan. And guys, get over to milehighhuddle.com. Chad Jensen just wrote an article about this. And the article that we are talking about today, we are going to reference in deep analysis. But before we get there, Nick, let's say hi to Broncos country. It looks like we've got
Absolutely.
120 folks joining us here on YouTube. I know on Facebook, y'all are joining us. Be sure to like, subscribe, click those little thumbs up.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, before we get any further, guys, we got to tell you about our presenting sponsor. That is Manscaped. Guys, 2020 was a heck of a ride, but we're almost halfway through 2021 already. Oh my gosh, time flies. Hopefully 2021 is turning out to be a little bit better for you guys. But to make sure that you are making 2021 with that new year, new me mindset, go to manscaped.com. Make sure you're taking care of everything below the belt. Manscaped.com is the best in men's below the waist grooming, offering precision engineered tools for your family jewels and helping over 2 million men around the world keeping their male grooming on point. Like I said earlier, I have a backpacking trip coming up here pretty soon. And, I think the wife and I I'm an overpacker, which is typically, I know she's the underpacker. I'm the overpacker. So whatever, your gender roles, throw them out the window. But one thing I am going to put my foot down on is I'm bringing the crop mops, right? Like if you're in the backcountry and
They're
you're out there
nice.
doing some exercise, cleaning, you want to make sure that you are not getting chafing issues, et cetera, et cetera. The crop mop can help you do that a lot. And not only that, they also have the anti-chafing boxer briefs over at manscaped.com. And obviously the Lawnmower 3.0, the number one overall pick, the Trevor Lawrence of the below the waist male grooming kits. So you want to check them out, guys. And before we when you go there, make sure you use the code HUDDLE to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Once again, 20% off and free shipping if you use the code HUDDLE. So transitioning here from ball cleaning products to a guy who showed in his career having some big balls on the field, Jake Plummer, man. Oh man, I love Plummer.
The snake, man. The snake, right? So drafted out of Arizona State. Was he in the first round, Nick, or was it the second?
Oh man, I think he might have.
I think he's a second round pick, and maybe we can open that up to the chat. Get at us and let us know. Arizona State, we know he was a forks up, right? Sun Devil, and then goes to the Cardinals. I believe he makes a playoff run with the Cardinals into his sophomore season in the NFL, and then Mike Shanahan lures him away from the desert after the failed Brian Greasy experiment. And I'll be the first one to tell you, Nick, I didn't fully appreciate Jake Plummer for the quarterback that he was when I was a fan here in Denver. I was so used to watching John Elway as a little kid. Totally different styles with the snake, but man, those bootlegs to the left, things like that. Those are things that have not been replicated since the snake was doing it here in the Mile High City.
Yeah, and before we get going any further down this, we want to say hello to a bunch of people in the chat, man. A bunch of friends and family in here. We got In the Shop with Willie coming in with a $2 super over on YouTube saying, I'm just here to argue with Luke. Equestrian, poultry, padlock. So we'll get that there.
He's a lock guy. He's a lock guy in the shop, Willie. So I know he's watching, and I know he wants to know what Jake Plummer said about Drew Lock.
Yes.
And there he comes again. What's up, haters? And of course, in the shop, Willie, we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for supporting us and the pod. JD's coming in with a big "What's up, Broncos country?" Mike, I see you wanting to get Aaron Rodgers. Who doesn't, right? And you got that Alabama Crimson Tide. You were in good company. Riley Malloy, MHH is the greatest ever. Thank you so much, Riley. Riley was rocking with us, Nick, through the entire draft. War Room 1, 2, and 3. Riley, huge shout out to you. Thank you.
And we also got Todd Ostendorf, who's always a big supporter as well. Good evening, Broncos country. Albert Knoppers over in the Netherlands. Don't make me pronounce it, Albert, but hopefully you're doing well over there across the pond. JL Avenger coming in showing that Broncos country is a global phenomenon. Jake knows best, my favorite Denver quarterback since the beginning, and he's right. Wishing the worst to Drew and lots of so-called fans is disappointing. Let them hate. A MHS from Costa Rica. Oh, did I say Brazil? Costa Rica. Beautiful country. Have you been to Costa Rica?
I have been to Costa Rica, Nick. Absolutely amazing, especially in the spring. I got to ATV with up a volcano with my pops, man. I'll never forget it. One of the coolest things I've ever done. That's crazy. Costa Rica, Broncos country in Costa Rica. What's up?
Yeah, absolutely. Arenal, was that the volcano area you were at? La Fortuna Center?
La Fortuna, that sounds familiar.
That's where we were. Oh, gorgeous. The hot springs too. Oh my God.
Oh, dude.
We got Kevin here. It's so much fun. This is the off season, guys. It's free, good flowing, talking summer vibes here. It's good vibes. Kevin Sproulin here, speaking of some good vibes. Good evening, Huddle Broncos forever. We got our boy Kirk Cousins, aka Jeremy Sean, in here with those pearly whites saying "Happy Saturday, boys." Kenneth Booker, like our own, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, you like that? Ooh,
what's up, KB?
So, Amanda's in here. Also want to give a shout out to all of our.
Oh, hey, Amanda.
Yeah, all
Happy
of
Mother's
our female.
Day.
Yes, absolutely. Also, Anne was in the house as well. She's right here. She said Jake Plummer was a second round pick. See, our Broncos female fans are so freaking
Anne's all over it. Anne Rivera's all over it. I asked that a minute ago, and Anne's popping on there. And a quick thing to Amanda. Amanda's trying to make sure I had my Mother's Day stuff ready. You know this. Yes. I've got Mother's Day on lock, Nick. And you know what? I might have had to get a couple things scrambled before the show, but you know what? We get it done here on MHI, dude. Happy Mother's Day, Broncos country. You guys make our lives so much fun, and we could not enjoy life without you.
And Mr. Boggins coming in here saying Jake the Snape crop mops. It's way too good, man. Jake talking about turning the ball over and everything like that going on. But yeah, let's get into it here. So
let's do it.
Luke, you have the quotes pulled up here from Jake Plummer in that interview with Nick Ferguson and your boy Cecil Laramie.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Absolutely crazy. Nick's able to pull down all of his old teammates, man, whether it's Jake Plummer, Tatum Bell, Champ Bailey was on this week talking about Pat Surtain also. So huge plug to my buddies over there at the Fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they have Jake Plummer on, right? And Jake Plummer, Broncos country, you know him, you love him. Some of you love him, some of you don't. I can see it in the comments. But like it or not, here we go. Jake Plummer issuing a critical message to Broncos country. And be sure to check out Chad Jensen's article on milehighhuddle.com. He says, quote, I think bringing in a quarterback at this point with Drew Lock here already, the fans were mad. But why? They could be mad again when Justin Fields takes 2 years to be a good quarterback and they get 2 more years of development to try to get to the big game. I still believe that if you really want a guy to be a true Bronco, then you must buy into the guys that are here right now and try to send them the love they need and deserve as your guy. Jake Plummer has Drew Lock's back. What? Did I read that right?
I mean, I get it. He was a second round pick, a guy who turned over the ball a good rate in his time. Granted, the turnovers have dropped precipitously since Jake Plummer was playing in the early 2000s. Games changed a good bit. But still, I mean, I get it. And I understand his sentiment here. You know, he's talking about Drew Lock as a Bronco. If he's your quarterback, make sure you stand up for him. All hope is not lost. And I know that we kind of get the shtick of being the haters. I know you lean into it. I'm resistant still. I'm trying to go upstream against that one just a little bit.
I love the way that you described that. That was perfect.
Yeah, I can't do it because I think he's salvageable, and I think he can be a good quarterback, especially on that rookie contract. Yeah. Really, my biggest concern is Drew Lock taking the step where he's like that 22nd to like 14th best quarterback, and then it's like, well, we don't want to go back to like having Trevor Siemian paying or trading for Joe Flacco, but also you don't want to pay Drew Lock $20 million a year. Like I think that's a very likely outcome for him, and that's scary. Like that's like Andy Dalton's second contract. The Bengals, Andy Dalton's rookie contract, stacked team. They were paying the quarterback nothing. Dalton was good enough. Once they had to pay Dalton, the team just freaking plummeted. So that's what scares me the most about Drew Lock. He's going to be better this year. I have no doubt about it. He's going to be better this year, but I don't know. That's my biggest concern. What do you think about Plummer's comments here? I get it. I get where he's coming from.
Yeah, I come back to the last line. Quote, I still believe Drew Lock has it. I still believe that if you really want to be a true Bronco fan, you buy into the guys that are here right now and you try to send them the love that they need and deserve as your guy. What does Drew Lock deserve right now? Jake, come on. You're my guy, Jake. Like, you're my guy. But here's the thing, Nick. I wrote a similar article about Case Keenum. Jake Plummer's comments on Case Keenum years ago, and they were very complimentary. Jake Plummer is the ultimate team guy, Nick. You know this. I'm not telling anything, Broncos country, anything they don't know. Jake stands up for his guys, and if Jake is willing to give the finger to Broncos country because Jay Cutler's going to go in, do you think he's really going to mince words and try to come out and hate a fellow quarterback? No, not at all. Jake sees the struggles that Drew's going through. And, I think Jake cares. Jake is still around that building occasionally, Nick. It's weird. Every summer, Jake's around, and he's got this connection with Broncos country that's always there. So when Jake Plummer's saying, hang on a second, Broncos country might have something in this guy, my eyebrows raise, but I'm not totally surprised.
I mean, I get where he's coming from. I do really loathe the gatekeeping that he kind of came from here, where it's like, if you are critical or, obviously I would say we're both for Drew Lock. Best case scenario, Drew Lock becomes the best quarterback in the NFL.
That would be amazing.
But you can have the nuance where it's like, okay, I'm pulling for him to be great and take those steps and become the guy. But there's a difference between hoping for that and thinking it will happen and criticizing the play. Analyzing the play, right? Like you and I we're not here to like, oh yeah, Broncos #1 fans, number one all the way wearing like the orange cheerleader pom-poms through their whole thing. Have you seen those guys at Denver games?
Awesome. They're really like Yetis. They're like orange Yetis. It's wicked, man. When you see them on the 50-yard line. Yeah, and that's just it, man. That's Broncos country for you. And we love them, but we got to give it to you straight.
Yep. And I'm not trying here to spin it or give you whatever's been trickled through Broncos PR based on what's happened. So that's just is what it is. I just hate the gatekeeping. If you are spending time investing in this team, whether it be money, time, your mental state or well-being, like after a game, you take it really tough, then I think you have every right to be critical and especially with how this team's quarterback play has been the last 5 years. And it doesn't always have to be like, if you don't support this guy, you're not a true fan. I hate that. There are different ways to be a fan, and that's totally fine. The only fandom that I hate is gatekeeping, setting the bar for what qualifies as a true fan. I hate that. I'm not a very irritable guy on here. I can get a little
Mhm.
riled up, but like gatekeeping, I don't have any time for it. I don't have any time for it.
Yeah, I love it, man. I subscribe to that as well. And the thing is, like, I'm not going to tell you how to fan. Like, there aren't any
Yeah.
rules with being a fan. And speaking of being a fan, our guy Robert Kitchens is fan of MHH, a huge superstar. Appreciate you so much. Jake the Snake, loved him. He was a good quarterback. He was a good
Yeah.
quarterback, Nick, but he wasn't great. I appreciate him so much for what he did for the Broncos, especially looking at this huge quarterback void that we have now.
Yeah.
And Travis Blankenship coming in with a generous super chat. Appreciate you so much.
Thank
Nick,
you.
just change gears real quick. Speaking about the quarterback position, because it's the most important position in all of football. Well, in the AFC West, the king is Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs right now. And dare I ask this question, Nick, but Travis wants to know. Travis, you're killing me, man. Who will the Chiefs face in the Super Bowl this year? Travis is a realist, and I like it because the Chiefs, they're still the top dog. Everybody's looking at them like they ain't got nothing, man. And it's like, hang on a second, guys. Like,
Yeah.
don't poke the bear now. The
The
Chiefs.
AFC is so stacked, man. I think the Chiefs obviously are the odds-on favorite, but there's really I would say 3 teams in the AFC West outside of the Chiefs who I think have a real chance to displace them. I think the Browns have one of the most talented rosters in football.
They do.
Their defense is stacked. They invested heavily in the back seven, best offensive line in football. They added speed in the receiver room as well. Baker Mayfield entering his 4th year and a 2nd year in the system. So I think they're really a dangerous team. The Buffalo Bills, one of the best organizations in football right now from the front office of the coaching staff. And I'm not sleeping on the Ravens either, right? I'm a big John Harbaugh fan. And also, if the Broncos get that quarterback that's currently resides in Green Bay, but might be looking to change residence here, I mean, giddy up, baby. This Broncos roster, it's better than the Chiefs outside the quarterback position. So would be a lot of fun. But I'm just really hoping that we do not need, the Chiefs already set a record last year. They're the first team in NFL history to host the AFC Championship game 3 years in a row. Just to show you how good that quarterback position is and how great they are. 3 years in a row hosting the AFC Championship game. I'm really hoping that doesn't come to pass again. I don't want them to have that first week bye. I hate them. I don't hate them. I hate them. No, but you're right. I'm leaning into it. I hate them.
I hate them too. Yeah, I am too. I loved it when you can make fun of the Chiefs for never winning the Lamar Hunt, their own trophy. And now they've got that. I can't say that. But Glenn Hauser, what's up, buddy? Happy Saturday. Thanks for joining MHI. As usual, one of those MHRT cats running around MHH. Glenn's coming in with a generous super saying, I really love Jake, but if he had to pay the huge invoice for season tickets, he might want to be open to getting an Aaron Rodgers. We aren't haters, okay? Hashtag we aren't haters, okay? I love it, Glenn. That's awesome, man, because the fans pay an arm and a leg, Nick. I mean, we've spent money for the Broncos before covering this. Heck, we still do on our own dime. You know, it's not anything that we get cut in special deals or anything like that. And nobody does. Trust me, this is $1 million business. It's the way things are run. But man, what a good point by Glenn. Like, you can't tell the fans not to be upset with mediocre quarterback play that they've seen for the last 2 seasons. Now, yes, Jake Plummer would take Aaron Rodgers. I fully believe that. Jake knows quarterbacks. Heck, he still trains quarterbacks, Nick. What do you say to Glenn's comment there about, you know, hey, man, you can make your comment and have your opinion, but I've got my perspective too, and it's frustrating. Broncos country's frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, with how bad the quarterback play has been and the lofty standards in Broncos country. I mean, when you have years and years of John Elway and then good years with Jake Plummer and then Peyton Manning, the bar is higher, right? This isn't the a terrible quarterback franchise. Like, this isn't the Browns, right? This isn't the Chiefs before Patrick Mahomes, where you can have good rosters, but the quarterback is always handicapping you. You know, this city, Broncos country, knows what a good quarterback looks like. And it's been a bit now, probably since 2014. Sorry, 2015 Peyton Manning. But that's just, it is what it is. So we're hoping, but also blind support, I think, is dangerous as well, right? That can lead to lowering expectations, and we want to keep the expectations in Broncos country high. Speaking of high expectations, in the shop coming in with another super Willie boy. I love you. He's speaking of Drew Lock. Speaking to you, Luke. He
Yeah.
deserves your love and support, Luke. Come on now. Luke, does Drew Lock deserve your love? Maybe support, but your love? I don't know about love.
Drew Lock doesn't deserve anything from me, Nick. He can't even clean up his footwork, dude. Like something
Ooh.
that we've been just clamoring about since his pro day. You were at his pro day, Nick, for the love of God.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
can this man clean up his footwork? Like, just do it already, man. Here's the thing. I feel like Yoda in Star Wars, right? Like, you are reckless. Willie, don't be reckless with your fandom of Drew. It's okay to like him, but man, there are tons of reasons to be hesitant. And as we go on with a little bit of Jake the Snake's interview with my guys over at the Fan, just want to throw another quote in there. He says, quote, Drew Lock may get the last laugh. Did you hear that, Willie? Drew Lock may get the last laugh. I hope he has a chance to come in here and still battle for the position against Bridgewater and show us that he has talent. It's obvious that he does. I think maybe there's some leadership things. I'm not saying he's not a good leader. I'm just saying there's some things maybe he doesn't know he can do or isn't allowed to do or hasn't been told, hey, it's okay to be like that. Go be yourself, man. These players will respond better to you when you're just you and you take control. That's where I felt my biggest attribute was that I worked my ass off with these guys every offseason. I was there working with them, working out, pushing them, pissing them off on Friday when they wanted to catch a plane home. And I'm like, no. Whoa, goosebumps, Nick. I got goosebumps reading that, man. And I've heard it a few times. What's your reaction before we get to Mr. Boggins real quick to the Snake's quote on questioning some of Drew Lock's leadership and questioning some of his why?
Yeah, when it comes to Drew Lock, I do not think he is immature. I think that is the wrong way to put it, but you want your quarterback to be the big boy in the room, right? You want him to be that CEO where it's like, okay, we can have fun when we're winning, but if you're not winning, it's business time. Wearing his business socks, so to speak. I don't know if you're a Flight of the Concords fan,
Yeah,
but
sure.
it's down for business. But anyway, so that's the biggest thing. I'm not saying that Drew Lock is immature, but also it sounds like some people in the Broncos facility do not think it's not that he's immature, but he could be more mature, right? Like he's one of the guys, but sometimes you need to be the guy. So I think that's an important distinction. And I think that's kind of what Plummer's saying here, right? Like it's Truman. We're going to get some history today. Harry S. Truman. The buck stops here, right? It stops at the quarterback. If the team is struggling, you take that on. You say, this is my fault. I got to do better. And if the team around you is doing well, you say, oh, that's because I'm propping up these guys. They're making me look good. And the quarterback always gets too much credit or too much blame. It's just the nature of the position. But, if you're going to be that guy, and it's not, he hasn't been out on the field, but also you got to be that guy in the locker room, in practice, 24/7. I mean,
It's a
especially
lifestyle.
in today's, it really is. You got to be obsessed with the product, and you got to be, I mean, just above and beyond. The expectations are insane, especially in today's 24/7 news cycle. Like teams have never been under bigger microscopes. So if you're not doing it, people are going to hear about it and they're going to find out.
Yeah, and that quarterback's a lifestyle. And speaking of lifestyle, MHH is a lifestyle. One of our very good friends, an MHRT cat coming in, Mr. Boggins. How you doing, Bog? With a generous super chat. Still waiting on my quote, true fan card in the mail. Absolutely love it. Mr. Boggins, all those MHRT guys and gals, they rep a huge portion of Broncos country with their passion, their frustration, their optimism, and I absolutely love it because it's okay to have all of those things. Here's one thing, Nick, and sometimes I'm asked, and I'm sure you are too, why don't you coach? And ever thought about coaching? And yeah, of course I've thought about it, but dude, I can't reduce kids. Like, especially at the quarterback position, man. You see some of these quarterbacks in high school that are trying to make this a lifestyle, and they don't either have the juice or someone doesn't have the heart to tell them, or it's the other way. And these kids are just getting verbally abused, man. Quarterback is a lifestyle, and you are not always going to have those roses. You're not always going to be in the Heisman voting. You're going to be at the bottom of the barrel. You're going to be an Ian Book going to the New Orleans Saints who have 2 quarterbacks on the books. I mean, it's a tough lifestyle. So I hear what Jake's saying a little bit. You want to be the man, then be the man, but you can't, be the man 50% of the time.
Yeah, those guys are born, not made. So we'll see. Peter Middleton coming in here saying over in Turkey. I'm up to watch. It's 3 a.m. Love this pod. Peter, my guy.
Thanks, Pete.
I would only wake up 3 a.m. to be at a sunrise hike. What are you doing here, man? You are insane. What a maniac. we Mile High Maniac here. We absolutely love it, dude. Vic coming in here saying, "What's up, brothers? Broncos on the up and up." I think, we were talking about the quarterback position a lot. I don't think we can argue this, though. This Broncos team is going to be as good as they've been since 2015, 2016. And
Ooh.
we've just had so much bad football to watch recently. We still watch it because we love this team. But this product is going to be better, and that makes me really excited. And we got Kenneth Patterson coming in here, calling you out, Luke, calling you out, saying 18 games.
We shared the same last name too. Like, what's going
Brother.
on, man? We're not even related, and I'm feeling I want you to be on my side, Kenneth.
His brother, 18 games, question his durability, but not his ability after 18 games. I don't believe Luke is hoping. Luke, talk to the people here. I know you've definitely, like we said, leaned in to the criticism of Drew Lock, to the hate. We'll just call it the hate. I always dance around that.
Yeah, no, I call it the hate. No, man, because you're optimistic, man, and I'm pessimistic. That's why this works, dude. Yeah, we are realists, but I would say generally you're much more optimistic than I am. And this is why this works, man. That's why my wife's the same way. I don't know if opposites attract, but I feel like that's why this works. So here we go, folks. Drew Lock, yeah, he's got that potential. Yes, I wanted him in the first round. Same stuff I always say. I'm not going to bore you guys to death on your Saturday night with excuses for Drew Lock. What does he deserve? Nothing. No one in the NFL deserves anything. Pat Surtain was drafted in the first round, pick number 9 overall. Does he deserve to start? No. Should he probably start? Yes, but nothing is deserved in the NFL. The NFL is about cheddar. And it's about winning. And if you're winning football, you're going to get bomb contracts. And I hope you do the right thing and show up to voluntary OTAs when you're working out, or you're going to end up like Juwan James, minus $20 million. And that's a problem. But if we're just looking at things and wanting to, hope that Drew Lock is just going to take this gigantic step with who? Pat Shurmur? With Pat Shurmur? Like, I would feel a lot better about this if it wasn't Pat Shurmur. I would feel a lot better about this if it was a Rich Scangarello, a Shanahan disciple, because we know that Drew can do good in that system. Nick, they're not running a Shanahan offense this year, I assure you.
Yeah, honestly, they put one of the things that's brilliant about the Kyle Shanahan offense is that it is simple, stupid for the quarterback, right? A lot of designs where the ball is supposed to go, where the ball is supposed to go, that first read is schemed open. And that's a big benefit of that Kyle Shanahan system, along with a great running scheme as well. And you don't really see that as much with the Shurmur offense. Now, that's not because the Shurmur offensive scheme is bad. I would say he's a mediocre, average offensive coordinator, but there's more mentally on the quarterback to read the field properly and to be able to get through your reads in time, correctly and in time. And Locke had issues with that last year. They gave him the full playbook. He struggled with it. They dialed it back, dumbed it down, whatever you want to call it. They simplified the playbook to make it easier for not only Locke, but also Cushenberry. There's that rookie versus second-year quarterback dynamic. So it is what it is. He should be better this year. But I'll tell you, man, I'm not sure that Locke is going to be the guy who ends up winning this quarterback battle. And we got In the Shop with Willie here, and we can transition to more comments from Plummer. In the Shop, Willie. 3-peat today, man. Love it.
Thanks, Will.
Yeah, or maybe this is even the 4th. We'll see. Four super chats for 4 trophies coming up here. Let's hope.
Very kind.
In the Shop with Willie. Locke passed my eye test. He'll beat Teddy, no doubt. Also, I love you whether you deserve it or not, Luke. Luke deserves love, but he also deserves hate, just like we all do, right?
Yeah. And we keep it real. Sometimes you got to keep me in check, and Willie's always keeping me in check. I hear you, man. Like, I hear you. The eye test. That's what Jake's saying. Willie, Jake Plummer sees what you see. You're not wrong for what you see. Is there enough of it there consistently? That's the biggest question with him. And speaking of questions, let's get in here with Orange Crush, my guy. Always love rapping with Orange Crush, saying, "What's good, Broncos fam? Broncos gang, Broncos country in the house." Appreciate it so much, Orange Crush. Thank you for joining. Pete, appreciate you in Turkey, man. I'm still trying to get over that. In Turkey, we've got Broncos country absolutely everywhere, and I love it. So let's keep rolling. Glenn Hauser coming in with another super. Appreciate you, Glenn, and happy Mother's Day to you and your family, buddy. We all hope Drew gets the last laugh. It's irresponsible in all aspects of life to accept mediocrity. All our stud free agents could bolt if we lose. Ooh, Glenn, you're making too much sense, man. You're making too much sense on this, high ride of emotions after the NFL draft when Broncos country's wanting their pound of flesh from Juwan James and Aaron Rodgers. We don't know if he's coming here. And then here comes Glenn with some tempered expectations of, look, Broncos country, it's kind of become a flyover city, if you will. I can't believe I'm saying that because that's what I always say to basketball guy, Nuggets fan, right? Like Jokic, he can win the MVP. The Nuggets aren't going to win a title. I'm sorry. That's not the way the NBA works. The NFL works a lot differently. The NFL is one of those sports and one of those professional sports that can, you can go from worst to first pretty quickly, Nick.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's turnover every single year, and you don't just to have, although it's kind of like having a superstar top 10 player in the NBA, but correlate that with the quarterback position
Yeah.
in the NFL. If you have that guy, you have a 10, 15-year window. But Glenn's making some good points here. So, I mean, he's right. And Peter coming in here saying, thanks for the shout out. Thanks for joining in, Pete. And we got another great super in here, one of our big supporters who constantly in all these Mile High Huddle shows in here showing us the love, keeping the lights on. After 50 start, Andy Cowick, shout out to you, Andy.
Thank you,
After
Andy.
50 starts in the SEC and now 18 in the NFL, is it fair to say that Locke should be more developed than he's shown so far? It seems like he makes the same mistakes that he was criticized for at Missouri. So, Andy, this is a great comment here and a great point. So he's not raw, right? And he has some mistakes, but Drew Lock also has arm talent. And just because he isn't the Trey Lance out there as far as taking stuff from the whiteboard on the field, as far as the quick processing and intelligence, doesn't mean that he can't develop into a good quarterback, right? Like Brett Favre was not always the most brilliant guy out there, but he learned from his mistakes over time. He got the reps and he was able to lean on those tools. That's the hope for Drew Lock. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that's the hope. But you make some good points here. I mean, the footwork, the accuracy, the processing, the getting the ball to your playmakers in a spot where they can do stuff after the catch, all issues at Missouri and all still issues here. And I know that he had all the stats his junior year at Missouri. Believe me, I've been told that 100 times on Twitter, but like, I'm not scouting the stats, right? Like Case Keenum's the number one all-time college football passing leader. Okay, cool. What are you doing in the league? It's different.
Nothing.
It's
Different. Kyle Orton. Remember those stats? I had him in fantasy years ago when he was with the Broncos, dude, and he was lighting it up for me. And it's fantasy football. Who cares? I get it. But no, you're exactly right, man. And you've said it before. Stats can be hollow. They can be inflated at the same time. So it's all about context, man. And we talk about that so much on this show. And we've got to keep it real. And yeah, Drew, I would describe Drew instead of as raw as just inconsistent. I mean, like, it's frustrating. It's maddening. I forget the scout. Maybe it was DJ or Peter Schrager, somebody. They were like, look, when you're watching Pat Surtain's film, it's maddening. It's boring. It can get awful. Because George Payton, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, George Payton said it, because they don't throw his way. It's boring to watch. Well, you know what? Boring wins football games, man. Like, I don't care. I really don't. I don't care if it's, 50 touchdowns. Let's look at the Baltimore Ravens offense. Dumb it down, or did they customize it to what Lamar Jackson wanted? They customized it. They bent to the will of their quarterback, to the abilities of their quarterback. I know that Pat Shurmur's not going to be doing that. I would much rather like to see Drew Lock with a Kyle Shanahan, a guy that can not only draw something on the whiteboard, but draw something in the dust, draw something in the dirt with sticks and twigs and say, Drew, you can improvise. Absolutely. You can avoid some sacks. Well, let's translate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to say hello to some more people in here joining us now. We got Greg Smith always joining us over on Facebook. Thank you, Greg. And if you guys are joining us on Facebook today, click those thumbs up, heart reacts. I see we got a sad react here from Danny. Danny, why are you so sad, man? It's going to be okay. This is going to be a better team this year. Also over on Periscope, we got Marco coming in here. I love MHH. You guys rock. Greeting from Mexico's diehard Broncos fan ever since the drive. Wow. Well, Marco, you outpaced me. I was still not even a thought yet at that point. So, is what it is. And we got Jeremy coming in here being a nihilist, saying nobody in life deserves anything. Well, okay, Rick and Morty, you're right. We don't have purpose. Everyone dies eventually. Glenn Hauser saying you'll get nothing and like it from Judge Smalley's and Luke Patterson. So appreciate that. And another super coming in here. Gabriel Harder saying, I'm a huge Lock fan. I still believe in his potential, but A-Rod would be Peyton Manning 2.0 project, a future Hall of Famer, more talent and health. And this is a good point too. And we're at the point where obviously I would have probably taken a swing at Justin Fields just to reset the quarterback clock, a guy who has better tools and higher upside than what we have with Drew Lock. And you can build teams so much easier if you have that rookie quarterback contract over that duration of that rookie contract. That's just me. Lock's here, Bridgewater's here. But if you have a chance at Aaron Rodgers, I mean, with how stacked this team is right now, you're good to go. You're ready to go. You are literally, I mean, this Broncos team is better than the Chiefs outside of the quarterback position. It just is. And if you put Rodgers in here, sure, there's probably going to be like that 2012 Broncos team where like they started off with 3-3, and then it was like, oh my god, this team, it just clicked. That second half of that Chargers game in 2012, giddy up, right? We're off to the races. And I think that's what would happen with Rodgers here. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes, you have to take him out, not hurt him, but like beat him
Right.
to get that, take the crown. But I really think if you have a chance at Rodgers, man, you have to take the swing.
Yeah.
I think you have to take the swing.
Listen, George Payton can stand up there and he can try to sell us the banana in the tailpipe, the false bill of goods that this is the quarterback room that he wanted. No, it's not. You wanted Matthew Stafford. You didn't get him. I think you wanted, obviously, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, or Trey Lance. You didn't get him. You could have traded it up to get him. You didn't get him. It is what it is, man. And it's time to embrace this aspect of George Payton always looking. Now, here's a question I would pose for Broncos country. And Nick, I want your thoughts on this because we haven't got to talk about it. I talked with Cecil on his podcast this week on the Audible, and he asked me a question. He said, would the Green Bay Packers be interested in Drew Lock? Nick, I know that you've read some articles and probably seen, and you knew in the actual draft a few years ago that the Packers, they did their homework on Lock. They hosted Lock for some visits. Do you think that Lock would be part of a trade package for the Green Bay Packers? We know that there are rumors of Aaron Rodgers, Aaron on the move to Broncos country. There are rumors of Jordan Love. Maybe they want to trade him. What do you make of Drew Lock? Would he be at least curious to the Green Bay Packers?
I guess a lot of it depends on what their thoughts are of Jordan Love. And because we had no preseason last year, they're going to know far better than anybody else. Right? Like we can't judge it based on that. So they'd know from in the facility whether or not Jordan Love is the guy. If they have reservations about him, I think that Drew Lock is the guy I would pine for them, just to get more young arms in there. And hopefully one of them will take the title and become that next quarterback. But if you think Jordan Love is the guy, you're not trying to pave or put in road bumps for him, then you go out and I would rather get Teddy Bridgewater just because he is the fail safe more than the competition.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Now, it's interesting to debate that because I think
oh, well, Luke froze
Teddy
for me.
Bridgewater,
I don't know
a savvy vet. Good.
You're good? Okay, good. I'm good. Yep, we're here. Everyone's here.
This is what happens when you live stream, folks. I didn't get booted yet. So internet's still up and we're still good. But no, man, this is one of those things where the argument can be made either way. Teddy Bridgewater could be a very viable option for a Green Bay Packers team that is looking at their young quarterback like, no, dude, you're not ready yet, or we're trying to unload you. Well, Bridgewater, he would be the bridge quarterback for the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, and I mean, a lot of it depends on what they think of Jordan Love. So we'll see. Do they love him, or are they like, we need to get more arms in here? And we know the Packers like to take on second round toolsy quarterbacks in their mind that don't tend up, not to totally disparage you, but like Deshaun Kaiser, Brian Brom, like, woof.
Deshaun Kaiser, I forgot about Deshaun Kaiser, dude. Man, that's crazy.
Yikes. Second round quarterbacks, man, it's literally a scratcher ticket, just historically. So we'll see. We got Gabriel Harder coming in with a $5 super. Oh, he said this already. Okay. Well,
yeah, we came in.
On, Gabriel. We appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Gabe. Appreciate you so much. Yeah, and I'm seeing the comments. Drew Lock is going to be awesome. No, I hear you. I want Drew to work out. I really, really do. It would be the best for everybody. And in the shop, Willie, you'll be the first person, dude, that I'd get that crow out on MHI and take a big old chunk, man, just like I do with Garrett Bowles, just like I do with Noah Fant. I'm happy to do it, man, because it puts the Broncos in a better place, Nick. And that's what I want. I want winning football. I want the Broncos to matter again. You had to search your head and be like, what's a crappier franchise than the Broncos? The Browns? Well, they used to be. Yeah, they used to be, but they passed Denver up. Now they're a playoff team. Kansas City Chiefs going to the Super Bowl. The Bengals, they've got their franchise quarterback. You know, they're trying to figure things out with the wide receiver. I don't know if they want to protect their franchise quarterback, but hey, what do I know?
Speaking of Rick and Morty, just a little bit ago, Mr. Westside coming in with the Rick and Morty Supreme picture there over on YouTube. And if you guys are joining us on YouTube today, big support, subscribe, like, and share. That can help us get to new people. Well, we'd really appreciate that. But we got, oh no, where did it go? Oh my gosh. This is what happens when
Nick's producing for us. He's on the ones and twos. He's going hard. You know, we go right from the draft into this, and good old technology, folks. That's how we go.
Mr. Westside, I want to see Chris Harris get mossed by Sutton. I mean, That would be amazing.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Nobody has to be happier about Sutton coming back than Drew Lock, right? Like while Drew Lock is not a quarterback that's the best going through his progressions, getting the ball in the right spot to guys underneath or to the hash outside the hashes. He does like to throw the ball down the field. We saw that the yards per attempt vertically, throwing it in tight windows. I mean, it's frustrating sometimes, but also I respect it a little bit too. This is the duality of the quarterback position, right? But a guy that he missed and a guy he's got to be ecstatic is coming back this year. Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
I love Cortland. I'm hoping coming out of this year, not even debatable top 10 wide receiver. He is so talented, so fun. And we got robbed last year. Hopefully we don't get robbed this year.
Mr. Westside, I absolutely love it. That gets me fired up. I love Cortland Sutton as well. And you know who else does? SMU. They had a mural painted of the man at the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. Look at him like a god wide receiver. And here's something else Cortland Sutton does for you. And you said Drew Lock would be happy. Yeah, he's not only that receiver that can get those 50-50 balls. He's not only that receiver that can lay out and be willing to go get it all, but he gets you PI. And that's something that is continually happening in the NFL. It's a quarterback-driven and desperate league. The league wants points. They want ESPN highlights, NFL game day highlights. They want your fantasy team scoring as many points as they can. How do they do that? Well, you set up teams. You do that with PI, and you do that with a beast of a receiver in Cortland Sutton.
And you do that with, you talk, boring's okay. I disagree. Broncos have been boring. I'm done with boring. You need to have better offense, and a good way to not have boring offense, get the ball to Cortland Sutton down the field. Good things happen. Speaking of good things, Swink McLeod with the $5 super over on YouTube. That's a great thing, honestly. Thank you so much, Swink. My bets are on Teddy because, like you guys say, the coaches are coaching for their jobs. I mean, all of them are. That's true. And I'm not going to let Drew turn it over 15 plus times this season. And while Teddy Bridgewater is not the most safe quarterback out there, he definitely protects the ball more than Drew has. But I think that's something that has to be being harped on Drew right now, right? Like, you don't have to play hero ball constantly. Protect the football, and good things can happen, especially with this defense. Be the pilot, not the plane. That's what you need in this one. So we'll see. I mean, there's still plenty of hope for Drew Lock there in that regard. And if it's Teddy Bridgewater versus Drew Lock, I think Bridgewater will win. But I'm hoping for Drew Lock, right? That's talk about, again, the duality of analyst versus fan. It's better for the team if Drew Lock is better. But I think the safer option is Bridgewater. So, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And I absolutely, I subscribe to that too. I think Teddy is a safer option. And when you look at Vic Fangio, who is coaching for his job, he's going to go with the guy that's probably not going to, turn the ball over as much. Yeah, look at his stats, only, a couple more, one or two more than Drew. Or less. I get it. Whatever is whatever, but stats, you can't just look at them, look at the context. And Teddy, he'll cover a game for you. I don't know if he's going to win all the time, but speaking of winning all the time, in the shop, Willie, being very generous. Appreciate you, brother. Enough of it. Yes. Consistently. No, I'm giving him 6 games. In the shop, Willie giving Drew Lock 6 games. I love it. If he doesn't light it up, Willie's going to move on. No love lost. Also, this is super chat number 4. Willie, I love it. You're calling your shot. I'm going to write this down before the show is over. You're giving him 6 games. What do those 6 games look like, Broncos country? How many games are you giving Drew Lock? I think that's fair, Nick. And something I want to talk about just real quick. How many games does Drew Lock have in him before that switch is made? Let's assume that Teddy can beat Drew in a competition. We all know that. But let's say that they move ahead and George Payton wants to see from his first hand account, no film. I want to see this man play. He's been in the building. We've been passing each other every day. I told him I was trading for Teddy Bridgewater. Drew Lock embraced it. What do you think? Teddy Bridgewater, how many games till Teddy's in? How many games does Drew have until he doesn't screw it up?
I mean, we're not going to get the full picture just talking about this. Like, how is it happening, right? Is it happening because the defense is wilting at the end of the game and giving it up to a great quarterback play on the other side? That's a different conversation than, is it Drew Lock throwing multiple pick sixes and not taking care of the football and the offense is sputtering, and Jerry Jeudy for a second year in the row has the worst ratio of like expected yards based on how open he is versus his actual yards. And some of that is drops too, but a lot of it is the quarterback play. And
the coaching. To your point, I mean, that's and that was something else I was going to ask you. If you're Drew Lock, do you just ixnay some of those Pat Shurmur, like, hey, man, you know what? I'm coaching. I'm playing for my job too, dude. Like, you know what? You've been around the league in the NFL. I'm on my first team. Maybe it's time for Drew to take control of his own team. I'm not saying go out there and just, whip up on everybody with your own plays, but I mean, gosh dang it. The snake is telling you, Nick, grab this thing, harness it, make it yours.
Yeah, I mean, he's saying give Locke a shot. And if Locke is the quarterback this year, I'll be the first to tell you I'm hoping he succeeds. I liked Locke coming out of Missouri. I liked him more than Daniel Jones and Dwayne Haskins. I didn't like him more than Kyler, but is what it is. But we got DH3 coming in here over on YouTube with the comment here. Appreciate you, DH3, engaging in the chat. He's saying now all of a sudden it doesn't look like he's the guy. Like, come on. What's going to be the narrative if he fills out his potential? Oh, look, guys, we all knew all along he had the tools. Jake the Snake. Well, I think the narrative would be he's protecting the football and the game slowed down for him. I can already see it now. But I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your what saying that that's going to happen, right? And I think it's a weird. I do want to tout. You were saying earlier, like I'll eat crow again if I was wrong. I was not wrong about Garrett Bowles. I always said that he had the traits, the tools. It's a different position than quarterback, right? That's a big thing as well. It's different. Also, Drew Lock, or excuse me, Garrett Bowles, 2 years before in the NFL, he's playing defensive tackle at Snow Valley College. Different than playing in the SEC for 50 games at the quarterback position. It's different. It's not a 1-for-1. That's just lazy analysis. Analysis. But DH3, it's fine that if you disagree, and I really hope that Drew Lock does figure it out. But we're fixing to find out. Gabriel Harder coming in, $2 super. How many offensive coordinators has Lock had on top of injuries? That's a good point.
Don't care, Gabriel. I don't care, buddy. Like, I appreciate the super chat, so I'm not saying don't care to your comment. I'm saying I don't care how many offensive coordinators Drew Lock has had in college. I don't care how many offensive coordinators he's had here with the Denver Broncos, dude. Tough cookies, man. Like, I'm sorry. You don't have everything laid out for you. These are not ideal circumstances because this is not an ideal franchise, if we're going to be honest. And it starts from the top with ownership and it trickles its way down. Do I think George Payton can get control of this ship? Yes, I do. But circumstances, Nick, in life, when are they ever perfect? Hey, Nick, thinking about having kids? Yeah, Luke, I'm thinking about it, but it's not the right time right now. Guess what, pal? It's never going to be the right time because things are never perfect in life. These scenarios never happen. That conversation never happened, by the way. I'm just giving the hypotheticals, man. Perfect scenarios do not exist, and they don't exist in the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got to run through some of these supers here so we don't get anybody's loss. Hopefully nobody's lost any. We're the Denver effing Broncos. Wynn was accepting losing okay. The overall talent on this team is ridiculous, but Window's closing on these rookie deals. And forget about, that's true on the offensive side of the rookie deals, but the defense is old and a lot of them are on 1-year contracts, right? So like your window is short. Think about that elite Broncos defense. How many years did they have? 1.5?
Yeah.
2? I mean, defensive windows. Done. Same with the 2018 Bears. Same with the 2017 Jags. So this defense is good enough right now that if you can have a top 15 offense, not saying top 10, top 15 offense, you could, honest to God, you could get hot in the playoffs if injuries go your way through the 17-game season. Yeah. You could literally make a Joe Flacco Ravens run to a Super Bowl. That's not unfeasible.
Yeah,
you could.
Sure. Look at the Dolphins, Nick. I don't think the Dolphins offense is going to be anything that's breaking records here. But you know what? They have special teams and they have a damn good defense. And they've got an identity as a team. They believe in their head coach. They believe in each other. And to your point, you can win football games multiple ways.
Different ways to skin a cat. Hate that saying, but it really works here. But, it's just, I have a cat and he's beautiful. And
we'd never skin him here on MHI, ever.
No. But we did talk about if he does pass, getting him stuffed because he's that beautiful. So
Jesus, Nick.
Just a joke. We're all gonna die. It's whatever.
Peter's gonna come after MHI, and Chad is gonna have to explain that one. That would be a new one. Speaking of the haters, who not endorsing any of that. But no, I hear you, man. Nick's got some awesome fur babies. Be sure to get at him at Nick Kendell MHH. And in the shop, Willie coming in again. Love it. Here we go. He's calling a shot. Here we go. For Drew Lock in the shop, Willie, 6 games, 4 10 touchdowns to 3 interceptions. Any less, I'm going Teddy, or at least very seriously considering it when I say light it up. I mean it. Winning football or nothing. Willie must have liked the draft because he's seeing a talented team as well. And I love it, Willie. You know what, man? I'd roll with you. I think 6 games is more than fair. I don't know that he
Yeah.
deserves 6 games. Do I want to see it? Yes, my fan hat. I want to see it. I want it to work out. But, hope's not a strategy. I love it, Willie. Thank you so much for all the support tonight, man. And thanks for calling your shot. And call your shot, folks. It's okay to be wrong. If Drew Lock's your guy, tell me why he's your guy, like In the Shop Willie does. I'm not ever going to dog you. Might dog your opinion, but this is never, ever personal. That's why I love rocking with you on MHI, Nick, and love rocking with you, Willie. Thank you.
And I've seen a few comments like this saying, I hate the St. Louis Cardinals. Well, Blaze, I'm sorry, man. Broncos country is not just people in Denver. This is an international fan base, and you're not going to have everybody in here. And I just want to say the Rockies are the best farm team the Cardinals have ever had. Matt Holliday.
Never heard of either of them.
Baseball. Yeah, Scott, my co-host for Broncos for Breakfast, saying it's called the National Pastime for a reason, because it helps you pass time between football in the summer. So it's still fun. I like it a lot. But did
you get your Nolan Arenado
not
jersey
yet.
in the enemy colors? Because I heard that was a big deal, right? Nolan and the drama, dude. I got off the Senior Bowl plane and the Nolan thing hit, and I'm like, oh man.
Carl is also a Cardinal fan, and my family's all from North Central Missouri, so I really didn't have much of a choice for football teams. I did have a choice. This close to being a Chiefs fan, so I guess you're welcome, guys. But that didn't happen. I was just like, oh, John Elway's great. I love this team.
God.
That's my team. But we'll see what happens here. Let's keep running here. Oh, he said so. He was saying that the record would be 4-2 with 10 and 10 touchdowns.
My bad. Thanks for the clean. Yeah, thanks for the cleanup. All right, the record's 4-2. That's winning football, brother.
Yeah, you have it, Willie. As much as you think that, I think you more pointed at Luke than myself. But as much as you think that we are haters. That's a higher bar than I would even. I would accept less than that from Drew Lock through 6 games. Honest to God, that's a high bar. I don't know how obtainable that is. So we'll see. I mean, God, if that happens,
love it.
I will be excited.
Call your shot, man. I love it, Willie. Hang on to these too, man. Hang on to these so you could say, "I told you so." Just like Mr. Boggins does with me on Twitter, and he does it with you as well. He says, I told you so. Coming in with a generous super. Yeah, you should. Call us out, man. We love it. Saying Willie and Jake the Snake use crop mops. Absolutely, man. Jake the Snake. He's awesome, man. He's got tons of endorsement deals I absolutely love. He was way ahead of the CBD thing before that started getting out with athletes and stuff like that, and handball and all kinds of fun stuff. And as we wrap up our Saturday MHI night, Sleepy 702 is coming in here with a lot of Lock excuses, but it's all facts that are just justified. I'll be happy with Drew Lock or Aaron Rodgers, though. That's okay. Right? That's okay. And I said I like boring football. To me, Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy Covers is boring football. I'm okay with that if we're winning. I really am. It saves your coach's job because I don't want coaching turnover. I harp on Fangio all the time, but I don't want him to be fired because that takes another step backwards, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got Mundungus coming in here. Speaking of the MHRT guys, different ways to skin a deer. Come on, Nick, you're from Iowa. Yeah. Oh, never mind. Well, I'll be honest with you. I did not do much hunting. I was definitely more of the fisherman. On that side of things. And then we got Andy saying go Cards, #STL. So I will say the Rockies are my second favorite team out there. I always love going to games out there. And I went to a Mariners game a couple weeks ago. Man, one of the most beautiful views of a stadium ever across the sound there over the Olympics. Oh, beautiful. Ann Rivera saying I'm tired of the excuses for Lock, either win or bench him. I ain't loyal to a guy that sucked. Wow, Ann. Be careful. Be careful around these parts. Some people will get hurt there. But I'm with you. I'm with you, Ann. Like, you can be a fan of the name on the back of the jersey, right? But at the end of the day, the goal for me, from where I sit, is to put this Broncos team in the best position to not only win games, win Super Bowls. And that comes down to, and somebody else made a comment here saying he's been really good here. Mike Postle, I think, was saying that it's not just about the quarterback, although it is the most important position in sports. It is it's about the team around them as well. And you're right. But again, that common denominator is the quarterback position. So if the quarterback's not getting it done, you're going to have a really, really hard time. So, that's just is what it is. I hope Lock gets it. And, but if not, then we're going to be searching the desert again. And the 2022 class, I'll just not mince words. I'm not impressed with the 2022 quarterback
No,
class.
you don't. Speak of Jake the Snake, you don't love Spencer Rattler. You're not falling all over Twitter, dude. I am so over it already, Nick. I am so over the next quarterback class, and I get the way too early articles. You read them too, man. I get it, but it drives me insane. You're exactly right, Nick. Here's the thing with Drew, man. It's are you going to put it together? And there are human elements, but you know what, Broncos country. Last time I checked, Drew Lock doesn't have all the love in the world for you either. All right. He should be upset. Y'all booed him. He made sure to give you the finger, just like Jake did earlier, and tell y'all not to be leaving so early. So maybe that's the connection between Drew and Jake. They like to flip the bird. I don't know.
Yeah, they both like to yell at the fans in the stands some expletives. It just is what it is. If you haven't seen the video, then you probably find it on Twitter these days. I think Mike Kliss even tweeted it out. We got Sleepy coming in here again. No one's saying he's perfect, but he showed growth last year, and that's true. He did show growth. It's just to what extent, right? Like, what are we going for here? Are we going for a quarterback who instead of bottom three?
What growth did he show? He's had 2 good football games in his entire career. One was against the Houston Texans his first year, and the other was against the Carolina Panthers. And you're going to talk to me, the Chargers, right? The Charger comeback, dude. The Charger defense was out.
Yeah, I will say, I would not undersell how good those games were. I would say those were great outputs. He had some good games in there where he was protecting the football down the stretch. He did show growth. That was correlated with Melvin Gordon playing as a top 10 running back down the stretch, the offensive line getting better, and playing almost all those games were against bottom 10 defenses. There's probably some confounding in there. If you statistical people out there know what confounding is. It is what it is. We'll see what happens. In the shop, Willie coming in again. Oh my God. It's a Mile High in the shop with Willie today. Inside the shop with Willie. There we go. If it isn't an obvious upgrade, I don't want it. Teddy doesn't move the needle. I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you there. I got to see Locke or Rodgers. Teddy's ceiling is so low. And for the 5th one, I'll just say Horsecock Lock. We'll get it out there. I don't know if we'll get flagged for that. John isn't going to get upset, but that's his 5th or 6th super. Like, we have to say it at some point. Like, if you're showing us that love.
Yeah, no, we're rolling into Mother's Day weekend, so I'm going to transition from some of my hate into some love, and I feel very optimistic, Nick, with the shot of Aaron Rodgers coming here. Do I think it's going to happen? I just a guess. That's sure. But like, I'm not buying the other spin from his boys, Kuhn and the other receiver I think that was on NFL Live. I'm not buying that. Yeah, I'm buying that spin of he might want to go back to Green Bay. No, he won't. You're his boys, and you're telling Come on, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. And we got Kenneth coming in here saying, "Hey Nick, did you see Quinn Miners is a decorated wrestler?" Absolutely, and I've said it on these shows 100 times. If you guys have kids that are looking to play the line positions, either defensive or offensive line, football's great. Get them in wrestling, hand fighting, leverage, body
martial
control,
arts,
balance. I mean, seriously, cross train them wrestling. If you're looking for a position like a quarterback of those more skill positions, soccer's great, basketball's great. But if your kid is one of those big boys, get him in wrestling, because I'm telling you, man, that's a difference maker. They just develop so many cross sport skills. It's great. Glenn Hauser coming in here with the $5 super over on YouTube saying, Nick once said Locke had a 15% chance of being top tier. If a doctor told me I had a 15% chance of survival, I'd get a 2nd and 3rd and 4th opinion. I mean, I would probably, when did I say that? Because I think the odds are a little bit lower now, unfortunately, with the more games, right? Like the more we see it. And it's not just the high games, but it's like everybody talks about the Carolina Panthers game. I don't know if you were just like too high. I saw a bunch of people talking about stoners in the chat. I guess, hello, Colorado. But I don't know if we were just like too high from that Carolina game, but like that Buffalo game was an immaculate piece of what, like just absolutely
embarrassing, terrible. An absolute embarrassment. And where was your quarterback? Where was your righteous leader? I'll tell you where he was. He was in Buffalo, embarrassing you, John Elway. He was in Buffalo telling you what's up. I was right down the road. Y'all were supposed to take me, and you didn't. The local radio stations had more crew up there than the Denver Broncos did. They had Gary Kubiak and I think Brian Stark. I mean, it's tough, buddy. It's tough.
Yeah. Speaking of tough, Mr. Westside coming in here again with the Rick and Morty one. I found it this time. Proven fact, Sutton made 4 quarterbacks look good. Keenum, Flacco, Allen, Locke. Sutton is the reason for Locke looking good, and look how Locke did without him. I mean, wide receiver is a more dependent position on the quarterback play, but I mean, let's make no bones about it. Cortland Sutton fantastic player. I think that based on what I've heard, George Payton wears Cortland Sutton pajamas to bed. He is a big fan. You know, when he came over to Denver, he's like, he's got a chance to give his kid any jersey. He chose number 14. I think that Vikings game made a big impression on him because Cortland Sutton was phenomenal in that game. So the quarterback has to put the ball in a position to give that guy to go do something. And to Locke's credit, when they have hooked up together, it's been great. But Sutton, good wide receiver. He's made a lot of guys look good.
Westside's not lying at all. I absolutely love it. Yeah, Sutton does a lot for you. He's quarterback's best friend. And speaking of friend, Mundungus is coming in. What's up, Mike? $4.99 super. Appreciate you, buddy. We had to come back in the Chargers game because of Locke's play in the first 3 quarters. Absolutely agree with that. But I will backtrack just a little, Mike. Don't hold me to it. It's a team sport. So I was cheering. I was, I wasn't saying Drew's the guy, pay him, like I was with Trevor Siemian, when they beat the Dallas Cowboys. I'm a lot more reserved. I'm learning that in older age, Nick, to stop being so raw and emotional. But, damn it, I like football and I like the Broncos and I want them to do well.
Yeah, I mean, that's best case scenario. We've said it on here a lot of times. And it's critical, man. I'm digging it. I love as long as we keep it simple with each other. Like, let's see what happens here, right? Like, we were just trying to project and give our best analysis we can, but we don't have to attack each other. Again, no gatekeeping fans. If you want to be the rah-rah Drew Lock guy, great. That's your bag.
Go to another pod.
Or if you want to be critical, like Ann here, which is great by all means. If you put in your time, effort, energy, money into this team, you have every right to be critical. So Ann coming in here saying growth, you mean he grew taller, LOL? Because it sure wasn't his play. Lock regressed. So, man, you're going to...
I love it. Mic drop. I'll just throw the mic drop on there as we start to wrap up our MHI Saturday night. He is Nick Kendell. I am Luke Patterson, and away we go. Robert Kitchens. What's up, Robert? Nick's always making Robert laugh. Robert's always rocking with us, man. I love it. And I love opening it up to the comment line as we start to scoot on out here. Shout out to Dylan Von Arks, man. He's another one of our guys. I've seen him on the Huddle Up Pod. You've seen him on the Huddle Up Pod. Another great dude. And Jeremy Sean coming in with Luke needs a hug. Dude, yeah, maybe. Maybe that'll make me feel a lot better. I got to work with my grass today, so I'm feeling a lot better, but maybe a little grouchy, some get off my lawn guy. And we got Bush coming in with the Buffalo game is the only game I've ever turned off and didn't even care what happened. It's tough, man. In Broncos country, they're tired of it, Nick. They're tired. I said boring football wins games. Yeah, it does. But you've referenced the Broncos are boring and irrelevant. And I know fans, former Bronco fans, that have better things to do. And it pains me when I hear him say that because I can't argue and be like, what are you talking about? Have you seen Drew Lock?
And I see some people saying that we're too negative here, and the Broncos, the only reason they weren't in the Super Bowl last year was because of Drew Lock. Well, no, there are plenty of reasons they weren't in the Super Bowl last year. But if you don't have a great quarterback, then your margin for error is pretty thin. And Drew Lock wasn't great last year. I think we can all agree. If we can't agree on the reality that Drew Lock was a bottom, I'll even give him a little error bar here. Bottom 7 quarterback last season, starting quarterback in the league. Then I don't even know what we're doing talking here, right? We have a different perception on reality. So
I said it. Yeah, I said it on the War Room. I'll say it here too, just as, we try to finish and clean up some business. Dude, Drew Lock is not good at football, folks. He's not. He's not good at football, folks. You laughed at me then. I yelled at all you guys, and I'm just going to say it again. Drew Lock is not good at football. It doesn't mean he can't be. Doesn't mean he won't be. It's just that right now he isn't, unless the Magna Carta of the football playbooks has been dropped on him, and all of a sudden he gets it. So in the shop, Willie, though, he's keeping me level-headed. Maybe I do need to stop it. I get a little ahead of myself. I get out of control, and sometimes these hot takes, they just flow. But damn it, I like Drew, and I think he'll ball out. I love it, Willie. Thank you so much for all the support tonight.
Yeah, and Glenn also saying Luke thinks Drew is going to be incredible as a server at his dad's restaurants. Oh, my God.
Glenn is just dropping fire.
Man, that's
and happy Mother's Day. Get that tag back up there. It looks like he threw a happy Mother's Day to some lovely family as well. Happy Mother's Day, folks. To all the special moms in your life, the special significant others in your life, fur moms or moms too, right? Y'all do anything for your animals. I see it. See on social media. I'm the same way. So happy Mother's Day. It's a very, very important day to just be with your family, be with your friends, just be with loved ones. It doesn't necessarily have to be just mom, but be together on that special day.
Yeah, and before we get out of here, talking about the positive vibes there, Luke, we're very critical of Lock today in this episode, just kind of the Jake Plummer stuff here coming down the tracks. But I think we need to practice an exercise of positivity here. And I'm going to put you on the spot.
All right.
Put you on the spot. I need you to say 3 good football things about Drew Lock before we get on out of here. Because we said 3 positives, reasons for optimism that Drew Lock can turn around, be a great quarterback for this team, and put this Broncos team on the right path for contention going forward. Got it.
He's likable. This double-edged sword. He's likable in the locker room. He's likable in the media when he's winning games. That's first and foremost. Number 2, he cares. Football is not secondary to Drew Lock. I believe that he's working his tail off over there. I know he's working his tail off over there. All right. If I'm going to say Drew Lock's bad at football, I'm going to say I know he's working out over there based on MHI sources that we've got all over the world. Number three. Drew Lock, when I shut my eyes, I can't believe I'm going to say this, and I don't want anybody to hold me to it. When I shut my eyes and I look at that, Drew Lock to Zach Wilson hair pro comparison, Drew Lock, I think he can pass the confetti test. I can see a scenario where confetti is raining down on Drew. I just don't know if it's going to be in an orange jersey. I don't know if it's the fit. So how's that for 3 things? He cares, he's likable, and I think he passes the confetti test.
Yeah, and I'll give you guys and everybody in the comment here, let's exercise some positivity. Glenn, man, he's sassy today. I think the Cardinals jersey triggered him a little bit. And Madungus Green, sassy Glenn. So 3 positives for Lock coming in here. Just an exercise of positivity.
I like that. That's good, Nick. I like that a lot. That's a good idea. That's responsible podcast hosting. I love it.
Yin and yang, baby. We got to have balance in here in life and in football. So positives for Drew Lock and reasons that there's still reasons for optimism. Drew Lock, there are a lot of excuses, and you got to separate the excuses from reasons. But he is a guy who's coming in another new system, and even his most ardent supporters who know him know that he is not the quickest guy intellectually. Doesn't mean he's dumb, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer for him to take stuff to the football field. Well, second year in the system, second year doing this virtual kind of stuff going on, another year with these weapons as well. That's all very good stuff. Also, you guys know from listening to me this year, I think you got to have quarterbacks in today's NFL that can do stuff beyond the X's and O's. And I think Drew Lock can do that. He has the ability to create magic out of structure. Now, sometimes it's dark magic going the other way, but I think when he can dial that back and start making better decisions because of the athleticism, because of the arm talent, he can make stuff happen that just you don't scheme it up, and you have to have that from your quarterback in today's NFL. So that's really good as well. And also, number 3, Drew Lock is dirt cheap for the Broncos. They can build a good team around him. They're not paying him much. He's not a big commitment, and if he doesn't work out, that's the Broncos took a good process there. They traded back twice. They took him in the second round, a guy they liked. They held off. Oh man, we're going to take him at 10. We love him. Let's punt. 20. Right. Are we going to take him? No. Okay, no. The Dalton Reisner, then moving up for Drew Lock. All good process. So he's been getting a shot. He's getting a shot right now, and obviously things change if you can get in Aaron Rodgers. That's not even Drew Lock's fault, right? That's just like, oh my God, Drew Lock is here. All right, we have a chance at Aaron Rodgers. You don't miss on that. You don't balk on that. But there's still hope for him. I really think there is hope. I am cautiously optimistic, and you guys know I'm critical, always will be. It's the scientist in me.
It's our job.
But you bet damn well if Drew Lock's out here making fun plays and then dancing on the other team, I'm gonna be cheering for him. I'm gonna have fun because that's what we want. At the end of the day, we want this Broncos team to be relevant again. We want them to win football games, and we're just tired of this pit of misery, right? We've seen some bad quarterback play, and they keep trying to lie to us, like pointing at a chicken saying that's an eagle. Like Joe Flacco, that's an eagle. That's a goddamn chicken. Get out of here. They don't sell me an eagle. Yeah. Oh, Case Keenum, we're paying him a big contract. That's a chicken. Out of here. Yeah. Are you lying to me? Quit lying.
Well, and Nick, now you're getting guys in the locker room that I don't think are going to accept it. I don't think Quinn Miners is going to be cool with this losing, and neither is Dalton Reisner. He talked about ad nauseum, changing that mentality. Will the Broncos do it? There's only one way to find out, man. It's getting on the field and finding out.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, guys, that's probably going to have to do it for us today with the Mile High Insiders. We want to shout out to everybody who gave us a shout out today. Man, we love you guys so much. Thank you so much for doing that for us. We got the MHI Football Pod. Follow us on Twitter at MHI_football pod. Follow us also at Mile High Huddle. We appreciate you a lot. Guys, if you're joining us on YouTube, please subscribe, like, and share. If you're joining us on Facebook, click those thumbs up. If joining us on iTunes later on. Obviously, we have the live stream, but after the fact, we have a good amount of podcast listeners as well. Subscribe and leave us a rating on podcasts. Oh, and In the Shop Willie coming in with one more here saying, don't ignore my hug offer, Luke. Let me love you grump.
I need all the love I can get, Willie. And speaking of love, spread that love to your mothers tomorrow, guys, gals, everybody. It's a special day. And happy Mother's Day to your wife and your mother as well, Nick, and all the special ladies in your life. And Free Earth Citizen, I see you. Thanks, guys. Love you all. And I had a lot of fun. And I'm going to throw a quick plug. There's going to be a cool, exciting announcement coming down the tubes this week here for MHRT. Might be doing something with those cats this week, Nick. So stay tuned.
We'll have fun. We appreciate everybody for joining us today. Stay safe. And as always, go Broncos.
Go Broncos.